Om Vakratunde Mahakaya
Mahakaya
Surya Koti
Koti
Samaprabha
Samaprabha
Nirvignam Kuru
Nirvighనం
Me
Kuru Me
Deva
Deva
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada
Sarvada Saraswati
Saraswati
Namastubhyam
Namastubhyam
Varade
Varade
Kamarupini
Kamarupini
Vidyarambham
Vidyarambham
Karishyami
Karishyami
Siddhir
Siddhir
Bhavatu
Bhavatu
Me
Me
Sada
Sada
Gurur
Guru
Brahma
Brahma
Gurur
Guru
Vishnu
Vishnu Guru
Gurudevo
Devo
Maheshwaraha
Maheshwaraha
Guru
Guru
Sakshat
Sakshat
Param
Param
Brahma
Brahma
Tasmai
Tasmai
Shri
Shri
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha
Namaha
Apara
Om
Karuna Sindhum Jnanadham Shantarupinam
Shantarubhinam
Shri
Shri
Chandrasekhara
Chandrasekhara
Gurum
Gurum
Pranamami
Pranamami
Mudanvakam
Mudam Yat
Yatkripale Shamatrena
Prabhadesh
Puman Purna
Vena
Prajayate Tam
Purnayate
Bande Brahma
Brahmande
Viduryam
Brahmaviduryam
Sadgurum
Sadguru
Chandrasekharam
Chandrasekharam
Om Sahana
Om
Bhavatu
Sahavadu Sahano
Sahano
Bhunaktu
Bhunaktu
Sahaviryan
Sahaviryam
Karavavahe
Karavavahai
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
ma Vidvishavahe
Vidvishavahai Om
Om Shanti
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 Shanti Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha
Atha Shashtodhyayah
अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः
Shloka number 22. Yam labdva cha param labham manyate nadhikam tataha.
यं लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभं मन्यन्ते नाधिकं ततः
Manyate, not manyante. Yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate.
यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन गुरुणाभिविचार्यते
Tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sangitam.
तं विद्यात् दुःखसंयोगवियोगं योगसंज्ञितम्
Sanishchayena yoktavyo yogo nirvinna chetasa.
स निश्चयेन योद्धव्यो योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा
Yam labdva aparam adhikam labham na manyate. Established with Guruna api vichalyate. You will not be shaken even by the heaviest sorrow. What sorrow could be there for the one who has the knowledge of Atma? And the definition of yoga, a new definition is given. Dukkha sanyoga viyogaha yogaha iti. Disassociation from association with dukkha. And this nischayena yuktavyaha. This should be yuktavyaha, should be practiced. Samadhi abhyasa. Yoga anirvinna chetasa, by the one who is anirvinna chetas. Chetas means mind, buddhi. So not not disturbed, the undisturbed mind. This yoga should be nirvinna chetasa yoga nischayana yuktavyaha. This yoga should be practiced. Saha yoga nischayana yuktavyaha. What yoga here it is? Dhyana yoga is jnanam vidyasanam. And the meaning of the word yoga is what we are seeing. So here yoga is the word yoga. If you take derived from the dhatu, yuj means to join. So it is not general meaning is join. So here it is not two different things are joined. If two different things are joined, then it will become separate thing. It becomes separated. It becomes separate later. It will be separated. So and therefore, but yoga the word is used. It means the notion of difference is given up by knowledge. That is why it's called yoga. So it's not to Jivatma Paramatma is yoked, is joined. Jivatma Paramatma already it is same. Abheda hasti. There is no difference between Jivatma Paramatma. It is Advaitam eva. So Jivatma Paramatma Vedaha is Ajnanam. That Ajnana Nashanam is what is Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. Here it is Jnanam, Jnana Yoga, Jnanam. So here, from here we will read what is joined together can also fall apart. Because it is joined. So therefore, when different things are joined, it will fall apart. Then what is the joining here? Here the notion of separation is given up. That is the joining. Now, whenever two things come together, there is a tendency to fall apart also. Therefore, they have to be kept together somehow. If two people are involved, the tendency is for them to move away from each other. Each one going off in opposite direction. Similarly, two pieces of material tied together will stay together as long as that which binds them lost. The glue condition is good, then the two things will stick together. Once the binding factor wears out, then what will happen? The two pieces of material will fall apart. So here too, the mind should be joined with Atma. Means the mind can move away from Atma if it is attracted by some external objects. It can be disturbed by a vritti, a thought for which there is an object, for which you are given senses. Paranchikani vedranat swayambhuhu parang pashyati. Nantaratman. Kathopanishad says sense organs tend to flow outward towards sense objects. So every vritti, every thought has its corresponding object, sense object. Sense organs perceive sense objects and backed up by the sense knowledge of the sense object. Therefore, there is some attraction for the sense objects. And if the senses do not operate, your memory always is there. Suppose sense organs do not operate. What about the memory, chittam, which has stored so much data, past data, memories, samskaras? They will be popping up now and then. So your memory is good enough to provide you with the whole world. So you don't need to operate your sense organs. It's a memory. The memory can provide you the whole world. Because of the memory, the mind will never find itself wanting in terms of objects to think about. So the sense organs do not require object because the mind itself, memory itself has so much. The mind itself has so much memory, so therefore the mind can revel on the memory itself and the corresponding objects, object experiences. Therefore, the sense of connection between the mind and Atma conveyed by the yoga make it seem that the mind contemplating upon Atma will come away from Atma. There's a possibility the mind can move away from Atma, overpowered by the desire for the objects, either which is external or which is internal in the form of memory. Therefore, the mind can stay away, they can move away. Because the word yoga has this intrinsic problem, therefore, Bhagavan defines yoga here in the opposite sense. That is, this redefinition is called Viparita Lakshana. Defining in Viparita Lakshana, redefining the negative way. Meaning that word is used in its limited sense, the limitations are knocked off by redeeming it. So all the limitations which are there, which is knocked off by redefining what yoga is. Because the words have to be used, therefore the whole teaching is like this. The limitations have to be knocked off. So therefore the definition is made such way. In fact, the whole Veda teaching of Vedanta is like that. A particular word is used and its limitations are knocked off to reveal its absolute sense, which is Atma. Dukkha Sanyoga Viyoga. Anything other than Atma is any connection, any sambandha, any relation with anything other than Atma is Dukkha. Therefore, Dukkha Sanyoga Viyoga means disassociation from association with Anatma. Then what will association? It means the disassociation of the mind from Anatma Vishaya means the mind has to be with Atma. That is the negative definition of yoga. So the limitations are knocked off and saying that to reveal the absolute sense, therefore Atma alone. The beautiful definition, negative definition. completely defining yoga, the word yoga. So yoga meaning disassociation from association. This is the third definition of yoga in the Gita. Samatvam yoga uchyate, one definition, the second chapter. Yoga karmasu kaushalam, second definition. Dukkha sanyoga viyoga, third definition. Until now, Bhagavan uses the word yoga in the limited sense. And here he knocks off the limitations. The limitations are knocked off. So it means it reveals your absolute sense. He knocks off the very word itself by presenting yoga in a different way. He defines yoga as samyoga viyoga. Samyoga is yoga, samyak yoga. Viyoga is separation. Upasarga gives the negative meaning. Viyoga separation. Samyoga, some gives the same meaning as that of the yoga. This upasarga sometimes gives opposite meaning, sometimes intensifies the meaning, sometimes opposite meaning. Yoga, samyoga meaning same, but viyoga is different. V means upasarga gives a different meaning, opposite meaning. Samyoga has the same meaning as yoga, mean union. The prefix sam conveying the same sense of being very well united. Well united. Yoga is union. Samyoga is well united. When the prefix sam is replaced with the V, then the meaning changes. The resultant word is viyoga, which conveys exactly the opposite meaning. The yoga is association, samyoga is association, well associated. Then viyoga means disassociation. Samyoga means association, and whenever there is association, there can be disassociation, which is the meaning of viyoga. So therefore, viyoga, sanyoga, viyoga, dukkha sanyoga, viyoga. In either case, the yoga remains. The word is there, one prefix replaced by other to create the opposite meaning. For this reason, prefixes upasargas are very important in Sanskritam. There are about 20, 21 upasargas are there. English also prefixes can be used in this way as declinable, indeclinable, comparable, incomparable. In gives the opposite meaning. For example, where a negative prefix is used to arrive at the opposite meaning of the word, friend, unfriend. So like that. Similarly, here in the Sanskritam also, the prefix V is added to yoga to point out the negative aspect or the absence of yoga. In this way, Bhagavan is saying that yoga, what we're talking about, is more of a dissociation than with association. Therefore, it is Vairagya, here Viveka. Viveka is implied. So disassociation from Anatma Vastu. If you dissociate from Anatma Vastu, then you will have to be associated with Atma, and that association is natural, it is Swarupa. As Jivatma is ever associated, ever one with Atma, Brahma. Therefore, where could be dissociation? So dissociation is notional, and the notional is knocked off by knowledge. That's why it's called yoga in that sense. All that was said before in terms of yoga, how to sit, how to live one's life, as Arjuna has in the second chapter, all the disciplines that were advised earlier are for the sake of which yoga. For the yoga being discussed here in these previous three shlokas, may one know that tam vidyat, may one know that yoga as what? Dukkha sanyoga viyoga, as the dissociation from association with sorrow. This is what Bhagavan calls yoga here, and this is the yoga to be known. Yoga sangitam tam vidyat. This is what is yoga is, and that to be known. Vidyat, may one know. Association with the dukkha means association with sorrow, association with pain, association with that which causes pain. That also can be taken. Because pain and sorrow, etc., they must have ashraya in some vastu, anatma vastu. Therefore, association with the objects or the thing which can cause pain, sorrow. Anything undesirable is connected with dukkha. Therefore, there is dukkena sanyogaha. There is dukkena sanyogaha. Dukkena sanyoga, association with dukkha. And this union or association with dukkha is no ordinary association. Is no ordinary association. It is a very well entrenched association. Because this association with sorrow is not ordinary, therefore Bhagavan uses the word samyoga. No one wants to have dukkha, but the dukkha with it, the union with it, is so complete that although you want to get out of it, you cannot. Even though no one wants sorrow, everyone is subject to it. That is why ashocha and anvashochastam, shochaha, dukkha. Since we don't want to be sad, then why do we become sad? It is not that one wants to get into a state of sadness, but there is yoga with the sadness. There is association with sadness, and that the yoga has to be some yoga, a connection that is very difficult to pull out of. In fact, you cannot pull out. There is no way of pulling out. Then why is sorrow well entrenched? That is because of this, our abhimana with the Sharira Sangata, our abhimana with the Anatma. That is why people have been trying to pull out of dukkha sanyoga but are not able to. This dukkha sanyoga, what is called samsara? What is samsara? The samsara is nothing but this dukkha sanyoga is samsara. And people are trying to pull out of dukkha sanyoga but are not able to. Why? Why not? Because it is a dukkhi. This dukkhi means sad person. Dukkha means sad. Sadness. Dukkha is pain. Dukkhi is the one who experiences a pain, sadness, sad person. The dukkhi wants to pull out of dukkha. The very person who wants to pull out of dukkha has created a dukkhi by taking himself or herself to be limited. He takes himself to be the Sharinamana Sangata, and therefore the things which are connected to it, therefore it is self-imposed. It is adhyaropa, superimposed upon oneself. He can never be a dukkhi, but he has taken himself to be a dukkhi by taking himself or herself to be limited. And therefore, when limitations are there, therefore there will be association with sorrow. Being associated with dukkha, then how can he or she pull out? Therefore, the cause has to be known and the cause has to be removed. So, not just treating the effects. So, for dissociation from dukkha, the cause for which there is a sense of limitation, which is created by the dukkhi. So, therefore, that has to go. So, that is a definition here. Dukkha sanyoga vyoga, that which is a cause for the sense of limitation, that from that yoga is yoga. I am a human being, I am mortal, I am a man, I am a brahmana, I am a kshatriya, a brahmana, I am a young, I am old, I am only this much. For the dukkha associated, for the dukkha one associated with the sorrow, this is exactly what I is. The person thinks of himself or herself as limited, small, with regard to Sharira Manasangata and anything associated with. The mind also, mind, body. Suppose is a small samsari who is subject to pain and sorrow. That very agam, the ego, by its very standing, it is doomed. Ego is limited. Limited, it has limitation, it is limited. The sense of limitation is what is ego is, the agam. Not understanding the true nature of agam, the ego, because of its association with the imposed Sharira Manasangata Abhimana, and therefore connected to that, whatever it is, therefore it is dukkhi. Its very standing is on dukkha, a sense of limitation. So sense of limitation is therefore dukkha. They go together. In fact, it is nothing but the sense of limitation. Therefore, all you have to do to be sad is remember yourself, because you have the sense of limitation, you are limited, therefore remember yourself, you become dukkhi. Is it really you? It is not. That is what the teaching. That's why Viyoga is. You just need to remind yourself of how limited you are. Because for you, the limitations are real, therefore, how limited you are. Then you become dukkhi. If limitations are real, there is a reason for one to be dukkhi. And if it is real, then also it cannot be dukkhi, because it is real. It is not real. It's not real. So therefore only disassociation from it. What happens sometimes is that you forget yourself because the samsara has so many fascinating things, objects that can take your attention away from yourself for the time being. You move away from yourself. That is what when you forget yourself. When you laugh and pick up those gleaming moments of joy, then afterwards you come back to remember yourself, become sad. That is enough to make you sad. You move away from yourself and enjoy the objects or things which makes you happy. And once you come back, you become sad. Whenever I forget myself, I am fine, as in the Sushupti Avastha. Whenever I remember myself, I feel sad. Not only Sushupti, even in Swapna, even in the Jagat Avastha also. There are moments of joy. When you get the desired thing, you feel happy. Moda, Priya, Moda, Pramoda, the words of Tattva Bodha. So whenever I forget myself, a forgetfulness happens when there is subject-object fusion. Priya, Moda, Pramoda, different degrees of happiness. You feel happy. And whenever I remember myself, I feel sad because of the I that I am. Therefore, Dukkha Sanyoga is my self-identity. Because I identify with the body, mind, sense complex, Abhimana, which is limited. Therefore, I take myself to be limited and I say, this is me. Dukkha, Dukkha Sanyoga. If this is me, then of course I am Dukkhi. But if it is real that I am Dukkhi, fortunately it is not. This is not me. When I say this is me, then I want to get rid of myself. How can you get rid of yourself? Wherever you go, you also go with you. You are very much there. This is why wherever you go, you carry your dukkha with you. So you don't even need a situation to cause you dukkha. You just go and will be there with you. Even in the cave, remote cave, you will be a dukkhi only because you are there. Furthermore, you will contribute your dukkha to others. Even if you go to a place where everyone is laughing. Sitting in a corner, you will create dukkha in that place because you have brought dukkha with you. So limitations are there, therefore dukkha will be there. So wherever you go with the same mind, therefore dukkha will be there. This then is the nature of samsari. It is not something unique to even a person. Every samsari, wherever he or she goes, is going to create dukkha in that place because he or she is dukkhi, a sad person. Therefore, the sanyoga is the association, the union between Atma and Anatma. This is what sanyoga. Now, viyoga from that. Viyoga from not from Atma. Viyoga from Anatma. Viyoga from the thing. Viyoga from the thing which causes dukkha. It means viyoga from being a dukkhi. The word dukkhi reveals an I, a person. And that person is separate from what causes the pain, what causes sorrow, dukkha. This person is what we call Atma. And what causes a person dukkha is Anatma. And because this person, this Atma and Anatma, there is association, sanyoga, therefore there is dukkha. How did the person get the sanyoga? Atma, as we have seen, is pure Chaitanyam. Its nature is consciousness. It doesn't have any kind of attribute. If Atma had any attribute, it would stick there always, and you would not be able to know anything new. Therefore, the nature of Atma consciousness then doesn't have any particular attribute. This being so, obviously that consciousness has sanyoga. Obviously that between there is Atma and Atma, there is sanyoga. That is why we say Maya. It is ignorance, ajnanam. Makes ajnanam because of ajnanam, not knowing. That is why it is notional. The sanyoga is not real, it is notional. That is why it's subject to removal in the wake of knowledge. That is, therefore, ignorance makes the impossible possible. Therefore, ignorance is Maya. Maya also, we say the same thing. Agatita Gatana Patiyasi Maya. Ignorance makes impossible possible. That's why ignorance always is dangerous. Half ignorance is more dangerous. The ignorance makes the impossible possible. Consciousness has no sanyoga. How can Atma have any sanyoga? If Atma has sanyoga, then Atma will be subject to limitation. Atma is asangaha always. Sanyoga is possible because of avidya, ignorance. By definition, ignorance is capable of making the impossible possible. In fact, with definition we give for Maya, Agatita Katana Patiyasi Maya, that is at the level of Samashti, at the level of Yashti, at the level of individual also. It is Ajnanam, it is Avidya. Avidya is capable of doing anything. It can even make a snake out of a rope. Where snake is not there, can create snake, Raju Sarpa. And mirage water out of a desert. So therefore ignorance can do all these things because there is a lack of knowledge. This means that the connection between Atma and Anatma, Atma and Atma Sambandha is purely brought about by Aviveka, the lack of discriminative knowledge. That is why that's what I said in the beginning, Atma and Atma Viveka. Definition of yoga here is clear knowledge of what Atma is by discerning what Anatma is, by dissociation from Anatma. Therefore, there is Dukkha Sanyoga is established. When Dukkha Sanyoga is established, and I understand the Sanyoga, then the next step is to find out the way to withdraw from this Dukkha. Because the connection itself is born of avidya, therefore there is no physical withdrawal possible. Because avidya, so where there is, how can there be physical withdrawal? Avidya being there, even physical, if you withdraw physically, then also dukkha will be there. Therefore, the association with dukkha being born of a lack of discrimination, disassociation from association, that is what Bhagavan refers to as dukkha sanyoga viyoga. That is possible only by knowledge, viveka and viveka born jnanam. Association with dukkha is due to a self-loss, a self-confusion, and therefore a self, not self-identity. That which is not is taken to be it. That is self, not self-identity. This is resolved by discriminative knowledge. In other words, I have to know Atma is Atma and Atma is Anatma. But Atma is not Anatma. Therefore, there is nothing separate from me. If Atma and Anatma were two separate entities enjoying the same reality, then there could be Sanyoga and there will be no moksha. Any inquiry would just bring in one more item because of which one would feel separate. Atma would be one entity sitting somewhere and many Anatmas would be there. Again, you will have the same samsara problem. And you would be extending to include the separate entity Atma also. So therefore, everything is Atma. Atma alone. Anatma is also Atma here. But Anatma, thinking then to be real, different from Atma, and moving away from oneself causes dukkha. Therefore, yoga is moving towards oneself by disassociating from Anatma. So, doing from Anatma, moving away from Anatma, which are the causes of sorrow. But Anatma is, here speaking, there is no Anatma. That is, also it is, when we, Anatma is born, the sense of Anatma, the Anatma is due to limitation. When Atma is limited, then it becomes Anatma. Atma can never be, therefore Anatma is due to ignorance. When ignorance is removed, sense of limitation goes away and Anatma also goes away. For what is there is only Atma. Therefore, Anatma and Anatma, they don't enjoy the same reality. Anatma will be there as long as you give the reality to it. The moment it is known, as in the case of Raju Sarpa, when it is known as it is a rope, the snake goes away, Anatma goes away. So that is the yoga here. Therefore, what is there is only Atma. That is the next topic we will read tomorrow. Om Purnamadas Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.